self-parenting is a crucial pillar in order to be, a mother or a father or a parent, right? And look, from the moment that we get pushed into this ontological experience called life, it's one thing after another, and especially now with the modernity of life, there's really not much time, that we could cocoon, reflect, and to just ask a question, go into the discovery of what was my childhood like, right? I briefly talk about it. I've had layered experiences that very rich and very traumatic that I needed to take the time to be able to process. Now, this processing of an experience is something that no one teaches us. You can go become, look, I went through medical school, but no one taught me that, right? You could get a, judiciary degree, you could become an attorney, an MBA, a PhD, but we currently don't have the academic setting that anyone that would teach you that. And one of the context of clarity is the ability to be able to create what I refer to as metabolism. In Greek, metabolism means ceaseless change. And just like if you have to metabolize something, you got to be able, there's two parts to it. You got to be able to catabolize and then anabolize. Catabolize means to break something down, like catastrophe. And that's what we do. From the moment that you open your mouth, you accept the food. You accept the new experience. And then you go through this process of masticating, chewing the food, and then you gotta swallow it, and then you gotta stomach it, right? How many times in our language, right, we say, I can't stomach that. I can't stomach him or her or the experience. And then we're wondering why we're getting gastroesophageal reflux disease, right? And we're hoping that the purple pill would solve it. Well, it doesn't, right? We are emotional beings. So our consciousness, our thoughts, our feelings affect us physiologically speaking. So when you look at metabolism, and when you look at the first part is catabolism, to break things down, and then there is, once you get to that place, then there is anabolism. You build something up, right? So you both have beautiful hair. Where does it come from? I mean, it comes from the protein that you had, the broccoli or the chicken or the beef that you have. You start, breaking it down. It goes down. You break it down into smaller pieces of protein called polypeptides, and eventually it becomes an amino acid. It goes into the blood, it's carried into the follicles on your hair, and then another amino acid, and then another amino acid, and you have polypeptide, and eventually a piece of protein called hair. If that doesn't put you on fire, this is really, I became so spiritual by just going to medical school, that you get something that is foreign, that is outside of you, and you make it part of you, right?
Right.
So that is the process. So it has metabolism, or the process of self-parenting. You got to be able to break things down and recontextualize it. I went, I was burned. I was in a burn unit for 6 months, or I had, I publish all my medical records, and 3 or 4 oncologists had to verify it before the publisher would publish it. Look, I was given 70% chance of dying, and they were saying that the cancer had spread everywhere, that I had to have what's referred to as retroperitoneal lymphadenectomy, which is a 16-hour procedure. They fillet you open, your entire stomach, take out all the lymph nodes, and then they wanted to do radiation and at least 4 cycles of chemotherapy. I chose to walk away. I did it differently. They said you'll never have babies. Well, we got 2 babies naturally, old-fashioned way. So, I'm not advocating that for everybody, but that was the right thing for me because I went through that process, you see? I didn't have a Dr. Sadeghi with the Clarity Cleanse to read and to go step by step, and I made a lot of mistakes. But I looked at it not as failure, but I looked at it as learned opportunities. And the whole process of really reconnecting with that, as you very eloquently said it, that original innocence of what it is to be a kid again, right? And to take that youthfulness, that curiosity of wanting to be alive. See, that lightness of being. And taking that into parenthood. Instead of a heavy backpack that's filled with so many rocks, that there is no joy and there's depression and there's heaviness, right? And expectation that now we want to funnel feed our kids because they got to be that way.
Right.
Yeah. That's what the process looks like.